What if the first hour after you wake up could determine whether you age gracefully with energy and sharp thinking, or struggle with fatigue, stiffness, and declining health for the rest of your day and ultimately your life? I'm going to reveal 6 specific morning habits practiced by remarkably healthy people in their 90s that scientific research shows can dramatically improve your energy levels, mobility, mental clarity, and longevity at any age, even if you're already dealing with some health challenges. Here's something that might surprise you. One of these habits takes less than 60 seconds to complete, but has been shown in multiple research studies to reduce heart attack risk and improve brain function immediately. While another habit that most seniors skip could be the single reason they feel exhausted and foggy all day long. Mildred, a 94-year-old former surgical nurse from Vermont, lives completely independently in her own home, walks without any assistance device, drives herself to appointments and social events, and has sharper memory and quicker recall than people half her age. When longevity researchers interviewed her and asked about her secret to such exceptional health at her age, she credited 6 simple things she does every single morning without fail. Habits she's maintained consistently for over 30 years that her doctors say are directly responsible for her remarkable physical and mental condition. Morning habit 1. Drinking 16 ounces of water immediately upon waking. The very first thing you put into your body the moment you wake up could be the difference between having a sharp, energetic, productive day and struggling with fatigue, mental confusion, and physical discomfort from the moment you get out of bed. Research from Johns Hopkins University and studies published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology have demonstrated that overnight dehydration, which happens to everyone during the 6 to 8 hours you spend sleeping without drinking any fluids, significantly impairs cognitive function, raises blood pressure, and thickens your blood, substantially increasing your risk of morning heart attacks and strokes. Seniors are especially vulnerable to these dehydration effects because as we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable, our kidneys become less efficient at concentrating urine to conserve water, and many common health conditions and their treatments can increase fluid loss or interfere with proper hydration status. After spending an entire night without any fluid intake, your blood becomes noticeably more viscous and thick, making it harder for your heart to pump and increasing the likelihood of dangerous clots forming. Your brain function decreases measurably because your brain tissue is approximately 75% water, and even mild dehydration impairs concentration, memory, and reaction time. All of your organs and body systems struggle to function optimally until you rehydrate and restore proper fluid balance. Many seniors wake up feeling dizzy, confused, or weak, and they attribute these symptoms to age or various health conditions, when in reality they're simply experiencing the effects of dehydration that could be reversed within minutes by drinking water. Studies have found that even mild dehydration of just 1 to 2% of body weight impairs mood, increases perception of task difficulty, and reduces cognitive performance in areas like attention and memory. Starting your day in a dehydrated state means you're guaranteed to experience reduced mental clarity and slower thinking, increased risk of constipation, which is already a common problem for seniors, elevated blood pressure throughout the morning hours when cardiovascular events are statistically most likely to occur, and higher risk of dangerous blood clots forming in your legs or lungs. All of these serious problems are completely preventable with one simple action that takes less than 2 minutes. The morning hours between 6 and noon are when heart attacks and strokes occur most frequently, and researchers believe morning dehydration is one of the contributing factors to this pattern. Your body has gone all night without water. Your blood volume is reduced, and your cardiovascular system is under more stress than it will be later in the day after you've had opportunities to drink fluids. Bernard, an 89-year-old retired rancher from Texas, started keeping water on his nightstand and drinking it first thing after his doctor explained that his troubling morning dizziness and occasional confusion were caused by dehydration, and within just 1 week he noticed dramatically clearer thinking and steadier balance in the mornings. Keep a large glass or bottle of water on your nightstand every night before you go to sleep, and make drinking 16 ounces, which is 2 full standard glasses, the very first thing you do when you open your eyes in the morning, even before you get out of bed and definitely before you have coffee or eat breakfast. Room temperature water is easier to drink quickly than cold water, and adding a squeeze of fresh lemon can make it more appealing if you find plain water unappealing first thing in the morning. Make this your absolute first action of every single day, without exception. Every morning you skip this simple habit, you're starting your day with your body and brain operating in a handicapped, suboptimal state that affects everything you do for hours afterward. So hydrate first thing tomorrow morning and every morning after. Morning habit 2. 5 minutes of gentle stretching in bed. What if you could significantly reduce joint pain and stiffness, improve your flexibility and range of motion, and dramatically reduce your risk of falling, all before you even stand up and put your feet on the floor? Research from the Mayo Clinic and extensive studies conducted at Harvard Medical School have shown that gentle morning stretching while still lying in bed increases blood flow to your joints, reduces stiffness that accumulates overnight, improves range of motion in your hips, knees, and spine, and activates the stabilizing muscles throughout your body that support balance and prevent falls. This is particularly critical for fall prevention in seniors, because falls most commonly occur during transitions from one position to another, like going from lying down to sitting up to standing. And your body needs preparation before making these transitions safely. When you've been lying still for hours, your muscles are cold, your joints are stiff, and your proprioceptive system, which tells your brain where your body is in space, needs to be reactivated. Simple, gentle movements like rotating your ankles in circles both directions, doing gentle knee bends by sliding your feet toward your buttocks, reaching your arms overhead and then out to the sides, rotating your wrists and making gentle fists, and doing slow spinal twists by dropping your knees to one side while keeping your shoulders flat, all performed while you're still lying safely in bed. Prepare your entire body for movement and dramatically reduce your risk of injury when you do stand up. These movements don't need to be vigorous or cause any discomfort. The goal is simply to gently move every major joint through its range of motion, increase circulation to muscles and connective tissues, and wake up your neuromuscular system so it's ready to support you when you get vertical. Studies have found that people who do gentle morning stretching experience less pain throughout the day, maintain better flexibility as they age, and report feeling more physically capable and confident in their movements. Going directly from complete stillness after hours of sleep to standing up and walking without any preparation significantly increases your risk of falling during those first few steps, raises your risk of muscle strains and joint injuries, and contributes to chronic stiffness and reduced mobility that progressively worsens over time if you don't address it. Many seniors experience their worst pain and stiffness in the morning, and while some stiffness is normal with aging, much of it can be reduced or eliminated with proper morning preparation. The first movements you make set the tone for how your body will feel and function for the rest of the day. If you move carefully and deliberately and give your body time to wake up gradually, you'll feel better all day long. Audrey, an 87-year-old former school teacher from Oregon, completely eliminated the hip pain that had been bothering her every morning for years by doing just 5 simple stretches while lying in bed each morning before standing up, a routine her physical therapist taught her that takes less than 5 minutes. Before you get out of bed tomorrow morning, spend just 5 minutes doing gentle stretches while lying down safely on your mattress. Rotate your ankles 10 times in each direction. Bend your knees and slide your feet up toward your hips and back down several times. Reach your arms up over your head and stretch gently. Twist your upper body gently from side to side and do any other movements that feel good to your particular body. Move slowly and gently, never forcing or pushing into pain. Your joints desperately need this preparation before they bear your full body weight. So start stretching in bed tomorrow morning and make it a permanent part of your wake-up routine. Morning habit 3, eating a protein-rich breakfast. Within 1 hour of waking, the type of breakfast you eat, or whether you eat breakfast at all, determines whether you'll have stable energy throughout the entire day or crash hard by mid-morning and struggle with progressive muscle loss that leads to frailty and loss of independence. Research from Tufts University and studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition have demonstrated conclusively that seniors need 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at breakfast to prevent muscle loss, which is medically called sarcopenia, to stabilize blood sugar levels throughout the day and to maintain sustained energy and mental clarity. This protein requirement is actually higher for older adults than for younger people, because as we age, our bodies become less efficient at using dietary protein to build and maintain muscle tissue, a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. This means you need more protein than a younger person would need to achieve the same muscle building and muscle preserving effect. Protein-rich breakfast options like 2 or 3 eggs cooked any way you enjoy them, a cup of Greek yogurt with nuts or seeds mixed in, a generous serving of cottage cheese topped with fresh fruit, or a protein smoothie made with protein powder, milk and fruit provide the amino acids your muscles need to prevent breakdown and actually stimulate muscle protein synthesis. These protein-rich foods also keep your blood sugar stable for hours, eliminate the mid-morning energy crash and cravings that come from carbohydrate-heavy breakfasts, and provide the building blocks for neurotransmitters in your brain that affect your mood, focus, and mental performance. Studies have found that people who eat high-protein breakfasts consume fewer total calories throughout the day, experience less hunger and fewer cravings, maintain more stable energy levels, and preserve more muscle mass compared to those who eat low-protein or carbohydrate-focused breakfasts, or skip breakfast entirely. Skipping breakfast altogether, or eating only carbohydrates like toast, bagels, cereal, muffins, or pastries, causes dramatic blood sugar spikes, followed by crashes that leave you shaky, irritable, and craving more carbohydrates. Accelerates muscle loss that leads directly to frailty and disability. Often leads to overeating later in the day when your hunger becomes overwhelming, and contributes to the progressive loss of strength and independence that many people incorrectly believe is an inevitable part of aging. Muscle loss is not inevitable if you provide your body with adequate protein, especially at breakfast when your body is most receptive to using that protein for muscle maintenance and repair. Every year, after age 60, that you don't consume adequate protein, you lose approximately 3 to 5% of your muscle mass. And once that muscle is gone, it becomes increasingly difficult to rebuild it. Maintaining your muscle mass is absolutely critical for everything from getting up from a chair, to climbing stairs, to preventing falls, to maintaining your independence. Felix, a 91-year-old retired electrician from Michigan, switched from his usual toast and jam breakfast to eating 2 eggs with sautéed vegetables every single morning. And within 3 months, he had gained back noticeable arm and shoulder strength that he genuinely thought he had lost permanently to aging. Eat a breakfast containing at least 25 grams of protein within 1 hour of waking up every single morning without exception. 2 or 3 eggs, a full cup of Greek yogurt, 3/4 of a cup of cottage cheese, or a protein smoothie with at least 1 scoop of quality protein powder will all meet this requirement. Add vegetables, fruit, or a small amount of whole grain if you want, but make protein the foundation and priority of every breakfast. Track your protein intake for a few days if you're unsure whether you're getting enough. because most seniors significantly underestimate their protein consumption. Every day without adequate protein means more irreversible muscle loss that brings you one step closer to frailty and dependence. So eat a high-protein breakfast tomorrow morning and every morning going forward. Morning habit. 4. Getting 10-15 minutes of morning sunlight exposure. Could just 15 minutes in morning natural light be the solution to sleeping better at night, building stronger bones, boosting your immune system, and improving your mood throughout the entire day? Research from the National Institutes of Health and Harvard Medical School's Division of Sleep Medicine has proven that morning sunlight exposure resets your circadian rhythm for better nighttime sleep quality, stimulates vitamin D production that's essential for bone health and immune function, and increases serotonin production in your brain, which improves mood and significantly reduces depression risk. Your body's internal clock, called your circadian rhythm, is primarily regulated by light exposure, and getting bright light early in the day tells your brain and body that it's time to be alert and active now, which then triggers the proper release of melatonin approximately 14 to 16 hours later when it's time to sleep. Without this morning light signal, your circadian rhythm drifts and becomes unreliable, leading to poor sleep quality and daytime fatigue. Morning light exposure, ideally received within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, works by stimulating special photoreceptors in your eyes that send signals directly to the part of your brain that controls your sleep-wake cycle, body temperature, hormone release, and other circadian-controlled functions. This light exposure needs to be from natural outdoor light, not indoor lighting, because even a bright room provides only about 1/10 the light intensity of being outdoors on a cloudy day. The light doesn't need to be direct sunlight, and you don't need to stare at the sun, which you should never do. Simply being outside where your eyes receive natural daylight is sufficient. Studies have found that morning light exposure improves alertness and cognitive performance throughout the day, helps regulate appetite and metabolism, strengthens your immune response, and significantly improves nighttime sleep quality and duration. All from this one simple habit that costs nothing and requires no special equipment. Lack of consistent morning light exposure leads to disrupted and unpredictable sleep-wake cycles that result in insomnia, poor sleep quality, and daytime fatigue, contributes to vitamin D deficiency, which accelerates bone loss and dramatically weakens immune function and significantly increases your risk of depression, seasonal affective disorder, and general mood problems. All of these issues are especially problematic for seniors who already tend to spend more time indoors than younger people, who may have mobility limitations that make getting outside more difficult, and whose sleep quality naturally declines with age, even under the best circumstances. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely common in older adults and contributes to osteoporosis, increased fall risk from muscle weakness, higher infection rates, and possibly even increased cancer risk, according to some research. The majority of your body's vitamin D production happens in your skin when it's exposed to sunlight, and you can't get adequate vitamin D from indoor light or through windows because glass blocks the ultraviolet rays necessary for vitamin D synthesis. Constance, an 86-year-old widow from Florida, solved her chronic insomnia problem that had plagued her for years by following her doctor's simple advice to sit outside on her screened porch every morning with her coffee for 15 minutes. And within 2 weeks her sleep quality improved more than it had with any other intervention she'd tried. Step outside for 10 to 15 minutes within the first hour after waking, even on cloudy or overcast days when you might think it's not worth it, because you're still getting beneficial light exposure even when you can't see the sun. Sit on your porch or patio, walk to the mailbox, have your morning coffee outside, work in your garden, or simply stand in your yard. You don't need to wear sunglasses during this time because you want the light to reach your eyes. though obviously never stare directly at the sun. If weather or mobility issues prevent you from going outside on certain days, sitting by a large open window is better than nothing, though not as effective as actually being outdoors. Your sleep quality tonight and your bone health for years to come depend on getting morning light exposure, so get outside first thing tomorrow morning and make it a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Morning habit 5. Practicing 3 minutes of gratitude or mental exercise. Your mental health, emotional well-being and cognitive sharpness might depend more on your morning mindset and mental practices than you ever imagined or realized. Research from the University of California, Davis, and studies published in the journal Psychological Science have shown that a daily gratitude practice reduces stress hormone levels in your blood, improves multiple markers of heart health, enhances sleep quality, and strengthens the neural pathways in your brain associated with memory formation and cognitive resilience against age-related decline. When you deliberately focus on things you're grateful for, you activate specific areas of your brain involved in positive emotion and social bonding, while simultaneously reducing activity in areas associated with stress, anxiety, and negative rumination. This isn't just feel-good advice with no scientific basis. Brain imaging studies have actually shown measurable changes in brain activity and structure in people who maintain regular gratitude practices compared to those who don't. Simply taking 3 minutes each morning to list 3 specific things you're grateful for, doing a simple mental puzzle, like a crossword or Sudoku, reading something uplifting or inspirational, or spending a few minutes in quiet reflection or meditation, strengthens connectivity between different regions of your brain and supports overall emotional well-being. The key is specificity and consistency. Vague general gratitude like, "I'm grateful for my family," doesn't provide the same benefit as specific, detailed gratitude like, "I'm grateful that my grandson called yesterday and we laughed together about his new puppy's antics." The more specific and vivid your gratitude, the more powerful the effect on your brain and emotional state. Mental exercises like puzzles work similarly by activating multiple cognitive systems simultaneously and building what researchers call cognitive reserve, which is essentially your brain's resilience against damage and decline. People with higher cognitive reserve can withstand more brain pathology before showing symptoms of dementia. Chronic negative thinking, persistent worry and rumination, and lack of mental stimulation and engagement all accelerate cognitive decline and increase your risk of developing dementia. Increase your risk of clinical depression and anxiety disorders, which are often under-recognized and under-treated in seniors. Elevate stress hormones, like cortisol, that directly damage your heart and blood vessels and contribute to social isolation and withdrawal, which itself is a major risk factor for early mortality. Your thoughts and mental habits literally shape your brain structure through a process called neuroplasticity, and negative thought patterns strengthen neural pathways that make negativity and depression more likely in the future, creating a downward spiral that becomes harder to break the longer it continues. Conversely, positive practices like gratitude strengthen neural pathways associated with well-being, resilience, and positive mood. Willis, a 92-year-old former factory worker from South Carolina, credits his remarkably sharp memory and quick wit to doing the newspaper crossword puzzle every single morning with his coffee, a habit he's maintained faithfully for over 40 years without missing more than a handful of days. Each morning, before you do anything else, write down or say aloud 3 specific things you're genuinely grateful for. Do a crossword puzzle or other mental exercise, read something uplifting or educational, or practice 3 minutes of quiet, deep breathing or meditation. Choose whichever practice resonates most with you personally, because consistency matters more than which specific practice you choose. Some people prefer writing in a gratitude journal, others prefer mental exercises, and others prefer meditation or prayer. All of these approaches provide proven benefits when done consistently. The key is making this a daily, non-negotiable habit, like brushing your teeth. Your brain needs daily exercise and positive input, just like your body needs daily movement and good nutrition. So start your chosen mental morning practice tomorrow and maintain it every single day going forward. Morning habit 6. Taking a 10-minute morning walk or light movement. A short morning movement session could protect your heart from dangerous rhythms, regulate your blood sugar for the entire day ahead, and set your energy level and mood from the moment you start until you go to bed that night. Research from the American Heart Association and multiple studies conducted at the Mayo Clinic have shown that morning physical activity, even just 10 minutes of light exercise, improves insulin sensitivity, which leads to better blood sugar control throughout the entire day, reduces dangerous morning blood pressure spikes that are associated with increased heart attack and stroke risk, enhances mood through the release of endorphins and other beneficial brain chemicals, and supports healthy circadian rhythm that improves sleep quality. The timing of exercise matters more than most people realize, and morning exercise appears to provide some unique benefits that exercise later in the day doesn't offer to the same degree. Just 10 minutes of walking at a comfortable pace, doing gentle yoga stretches, performing simple calisthenics or movement exercises, or any other form of light physical activity after you eat breakfast, helps regulate your glucose response to the food you just consumed and activates your cardiovascular system gradually and safely rather than going from complete rest to sudden activity. When you move after eating, your muscles take up glucose from your bloodstream to fuel their activity, which prevents the dramatic blood sugar spike that would otherwise occur and that damages your blood vessels over time. Morning movement also helps regulate blood pressure, which naturally rises in the morning hours and can spike to dangerous levels in some people, contributing to the higher incidence of heart attacks and strokes in the morning. Studies have found that people who exercise in the morning fall asleep faster, sleep more deeply, and wake feeling more refreshed compared to those who exercise later in the day or who don't exercise at all. Remaining completely sedentary throughout the morning hours allows your blood sugar to spike dramatically after breakfast, keeps your blood pressure elevated at potentially dangerous levels during the time of day when cardiovascular events are most likely, contributes to progressive stiffness and reduced mobility that makes movement increasingly difficult and painful, and sets a pattern of inactivity for the rest of the day that's difficult to break. Once you've been inactive all morning, you're much less likely to become active later in the afternoon or evening. People who move in the morning tend to be more active throughout the entire day compared to those who start the day sedentarily. Morning movement also improves mental clarity and focus for the hours ahead, making you more productive and engaged in whatever activities you have planned. Lorraine, an 88-year-old retired postal worker from Alabama, walks slowly around her small yard for 10 minutes every single morning after eating breakfast, and she maintains better blood sugar control now than she had 10 years ago when she was less consistent about morning movement. After you finish breakfast each morning, take a 10-minute walk around your home, neighborhood, or yard, or do 10 minutes of chair exercises, gentle stretching, simple calisthenics, or any form of movement that feels comfortable and safe for your current physical condition. This doesn't need to be vigorous exercise that leaves you breathing hard or sweating. The goal is simply gentle movement that gets your blood flowing and your muscles working. If weather or physical limitations prevent outdoor walking, march in place, walk up and down your hallway, or do seated exercises. The specific activity matters less than the consistency and the timing after breakfast. Morning movement sets your metabolic and cardiovascular tone for the entire day ahead and provides benefits that extend far beyond the 10 minutes you spend moving. So commit to 10 minutes of morning movement tomorrow and every day after. You now know 6 powerful morning habits practiced by people who remain remarkably healthy and independent into their 90s. Drinking water immediately upon waking to rehydrate your brain and body, gentle stretching in bed to prepare your joints and muscles, eating a protein-rich breakfast to preserve muscle mass and stabilize energy, getting morning sunlight to reset your sleep cycle and support bone health, practicing gratitude or mental exercise to strengthen your brain and emotional well-being, and taking a short morning walk to regulate blood sugar and protect your heart. These habits aren't difficult or time-consuming, and the entire routine takes less than 1 hour of your morning, but could literally add years to your life and quality to those years. People in their 90s who practice these habits consistently report better health and greater independence than many people in their 60s and 70s who don't follow these practices. Tell me in the comments which of these 6 habits you already practice regularly, which one you'll add tomorrow morning, and whether there are other morning habits that have helped you stay healthy and active as you've gotten older. If you found genuine value in these science-backed morning habits, hit that like button and share this video with friends over 60 who want to age with strength, mental clarity, and independence. Your share could help someone transform their health trajectory with simple morning changes that cost nothing and require no special equipment or training. Remember, how you spend your first hour after waking sets the tone for your entire day and ultimately determines how you age. So make that hour count starting tomorrow morning.